All right, this is the video for Act 1, Scene 5.
Scene 5. It is the first night of the Hanukkah celebration. Mr. Frank is standing at the head of the table, on which is the menorah. He lights the shamos, or servant candle, and holds it as he says the blessing. Seated listening is all of the family, dressed in their best. The men wear hats. Peter wears his cap. Praised be thou, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with thy commandments, and bidden us kindle the Hanukkah lights. Praised be thou, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has wrought wondrous deliverances for our fathers in days of old. Praised be thou, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, that thou hast given us life and sustenance, and brought us to this happy season. Mr. Frank lights the one candle of the menorah as he continues. We kindle this Hanukkah light to celebrate the great and wonderful deeds wrought through the zeal with which God filled the hearts of the heroic Maccabees 2,000 years ago. They fought against indifference, against tyranny and oppression, and they restored our temple to us. May these lights remind us that we should ever look to God, whence cometh our help. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Frank hands Mrs. Frank the prayer book.
I lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. He that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall keep thee from all evil. He shall keep thy soul. The Lord shall guard thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Mrs. Frank puts down the prayer book and goes to get the food and wine. Margot helps her. Mr. Frank takes the men's hats and puts them aside. That was very moving.
It isn't over yet. Sit down, sit down. There's a lot more. Songs and presents.
Presents?
Not this year, unfortunately. But always on Hanukkah, everyone gives presents. Everyone.
Like our St. Nicholas Day.
No, not like St. Nicholas. What kind of a Jew are you that you don't know Hanukkah? I remember particularly the candles. First one, as we have tonight. Then, the second night you light 2 candles, the next night 3, and so on until you have 8 candles burning. When there are 8 candles, it is truly beautiful. And the potato pancakes!
All right, so remember we're still up in the annex, and all of the families are trying to celebrate Hanukkah as they normally would, just to try to put in some normalcy and some reason for celebration. So this is kind of an attempt at a more uplifting day as far as hiding from the Nazis is considered.
Oh, don't talk about them.
I make the best latkes you ever tasted. Invite us all next year, in your own home.
God willing.
God willing. What I remember best is the presents we used to get when we were little. 8 days of presents, and each day they got better and better. We are all here alive. That is present enough. No, it isn't. I've got something.
She rushes into her room, hurriedly puts on a little hat improvised from the lampshade, grabs a satchel bulging with parcels, and comes running back.
What is it? Presents! Presents?
Look! What she got on her head. A lampshade. She picks one out at random.
This is for Margot.
She hands it to Margot, pulling her to her feet.
Read it out loud. You have never lost your temper. You never will, I fear. You are so good, but if you should, put all your crosswords here.
She tears open the package.
A new crossword puzzle book. Where did you get it? It isn't new. It's one that you've done. But I rubbed it all out. And if you wait a little and forget, you can do it all over again. It's wonderful, Anne. Thank you. You'd never know it wasn't new.
From outside, we hear the sound of a streetcar passing.
Mrs. Von Don? This is awful. I haven't anything for anyone. I never thought.
This is all Anne's idea. Holding up a bottle.
What is it? It's hair shampoo. I took all the odds and ends of soap and mixed them with the last of my toilet water. Oh, Annika. I wanted to write a poem for all of them, but I didn't have time.
Offering a large box to Mr. Von Don.
Yours, Mr. Von Don, is really something. Something you want more than anything.
All right, so presents would normally be a part of the Hanukkah celebration, but obviously since they're in hiding, they're very limited resources. Gifts, nobody was really expecting gifts, and Anne took it upon herself to attempt a gift for everyone. So that shows, let's see, caring is always the first word that comes to mind. Generous, thoughtful, all of those words are a great idea. So we just have to find the best piece of evidence on this page that you could use in your characterization essay. So you wouldn't really want to just have Anne saying presents. That's just like, as far as pulling out impactful words from the story, those aren't the best words we could find. So you could do something like this. I think that would be decent. So just like the act of her going to get the presents and being excited. I think this one could be a really good one though. So looking at this, sorry. Let me just pause it quick. All right, let's see if I can fix this. I don't want to do a whole note there. So in her describing the gift she got for Margot, I think that really shows her like thoughtfulness. So Anne, and just all those words. So thoughtful, caring, generous, creative for sure. Any one of those words would be great. All right, and then we still got some more gifts to give out.
Look! Cigarettes!
Cigarettes?
2 of them. Pim found some old pipe tobacco in the pocket lining of his coat, and we made them. Or rather, Pim did. Let me see. Well, look at that. Lighted, Pooty, lighted.
Mr. Von Don hesitates.
It's tobacco. Really, it is. There's a little fluff in it, but not much.
Everyone watches intently as Mr. Von Don cautiously lights it. The cigarette flares up. Everyone laughs. It works!
Look at him.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you. Anne rushes back to her satchel for another present, handing her mother a piece of paper.
For Mother, Hanukkah greeting.
She pulls her mother to her feet.
Here's an IOU that I promise to pay. 10 hours of doing whatever you say. Signed Anne Frank.
Mrs. Frank, touched, takes Anne in her arms, holding her close. 10 hours of doing what you're told? Anything you're told?
That's right.
You wouldn't want to sell that, Mrs. Frank.
Never. This is the most precious gift I've ever had.
She sits, showing her present to the others. Anne hurries back to the satchel and pulls out a scarf, the scarf that Mr. Frank found in the first scene.
For Pim.
Annika, I wasn't supposed to have a present. He takes it, unfolding it, and showing it to the others.
It's a muffler to put round your neck, like an ascot, you know. I made it myself out of odds and ends. I knitted it in the dark each night. after I'd gone to bed. I'm afraid it looks better in the dark.
It's fine. It fits me perfectly. Thank you, Anila. An hands Peter a ball of paper with a string attached to it.
That's for Mushi.
On behalf of Mushi, I thank you.
And this is yours, from Mrs. Quack Quack. Well, open it. Aren't you going to open it?
I'm scared to. I know something's going to jump out and hit me.
No, it's nothing like that, really. What is it, Peter? Go on, show it. It's a safety razor.
A what?
A razor. You didn't make that out of odds and ends. Meep got it for me. It's not new, it's secondhand. But you really do need a razor now.
For what?
Look on his upper lip. You can see the beginning of a mustache.
He wants to get rid of that? Put a little milk on it and let the cat lick it off. Oh, think you're funny, don't you? Look, he can't wait. He's going in to try it. I'm going to give Mushi his present. He goes into his room, slamming the door behind him. Mushi, Mushi, Mushi. In the distance, we hear a dog persistently barking. An brings a gift to Dussel.
And last, but never least, my roommate, Mr. Dussel.
For me? You have something for me? He opens the small box she gives him.
I made them myself.
Capsules? 2 capsules?
They're earplugs.
Earplugs?
To put in your ears so you won't hear me when I thrash around at night. I saw them advertised in a magazine. They're not real ones. I made them out of cotton and candle wax. Try them. See if they don't work. See if you can hear me talk.
Putting them in his ears. Wait now until I get them in. So.
Are you ready?
Huh?
Are you ready?
Good God! They've gone inside! I can't get them out! They laugh as Mr. Dussel jumps about, trying to shake the plugs out of his ears. Finally, he gets them out. Putting them away. Thank you, An. Thank you. A real Hanukkah.
Wasn't it cute of her? I don't know when she did it. I love my present. And now, let's have the song, Father. Please. Have you heard the Hanukkah song, Mr. Dussel? The song is the whole thing. Oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration.
I'm afraid, An, we shouldn't sing that song tonight. It's a song of jubilation, of rejoicing. One is apt to become too enthusiastic.
Oh, please, please. Let's sing the song. I promise not to shout.
Very well, but quietly now. I'll keep an eye on you, and when... As An starts to sing, she is interrupted by Dussel, who is snorting and wheezing. Pointing to Peter. You... Peter is coming from his bedroom, ostentatiously holding a bulge in his coat, as if he were holding his cat, and dangling An's present before it. How many times? I told you. Out! Out! Going to Peter. What's the matter with you? Haven't you any sense? Get that cat out of here. Cat? You heard me. Get it out of here. I have no cat. Delighted with his joke, he opens his coat and pulls out a bath towel. The group at the table laugh, enjoying the joke. It doesn't need to be the cat. His clothes are enough. When he comes out of that room... Don't worry. You won't be bothered anymore. We're getting rid of it. Oh, at last you listen to me. He goes off into his bedroom. I'm not doing it for you. That's all in your mind. All of it. He starts back to his place at the table. I'm doing it because I'm sick of seeing that cat eat all our food. That's not true. I only give him bones, scraps. Don't tell me. He gets fatter every day. Damn cat looks better than any of us. Out he goes tonight. No, no!
Mr. Von Don, you can't do that. That's Peter's cat. An,
If he goes, I go. Go, go!
you're not going and the cat's not going. Now please, this is Hanukkah. Hanukkah! This is the time to celebrate. What's the matter with all of you? Come on, An, let's have the song. Oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration.
I think we should first blow out the candle. Then we'll have something for tomorrow night.
But Father, you're supposed to let it burn itself out.
I'm sure that God understands shortages. Praised be thou, O Lord our God, who hast sustained us and permitted us to celebrate this joyous festival. He is about to blow out the candle when suddenly there's a crash of something falling below. They all freeze in horror, motionless. For a few seconds, there is complete silence. Mr. Franck slips off his shoes. The others noiselessly follow his example. Mr. Franck turns out a light near him. He motions to Peter to turn off the center lamp. Peter tries to reach it, realizes he cannot, and gets up on a chair. Just as he is touching the lamp, he loses his balance. The chair goes out from under him. He falls. The iron lampshade crashes to the floor. There was a sound of feet below, running down the stairs. God Almighty! The only light left comes from the Hanukkah candle.
All right. So as we're kind of celebrating these gifts, Peter tries to play a prank, and it causes Mr. Van Dan to say that they're throwing Peter's cat, Mushi, out on the street. Peter and Mr. Van Dan kind of argue, and Mrs. Van Dan tries to get them focused back on the celebration. Mr. Van Dan, again, we just kind of keep seeing his selfishness, which you could argue is being realistic. His reasoning for getting rid of the cat is that Peter's giving all their food away. And then it's interrupted by a sound downstairs. And as Peter tries to turn the lamp off, he makes a really loud noise, and Mr. Van Dan gets really frustrated. So there's just trying to keep from being found, and then that loud noise kind of makes it worse.
Dussel comes from his room. Mr. Franck creeps over to the stairwell and stands listening. The dog is heard barking excitedly. Do you hear anything? No, I think they've gone.
It's the Green Police. They found us.
If they had, they wouldn't have left. They'd be up here by now.
I know it's the Green Police. They've gone to get help, that's all. They'll be back.
Or it may have been the Gestapo looking for papers. Or a thief looking for money.
We've got to do something. Quick, quick, before they come back.
There isn't anything to do. Just wait. Mr. Franck holds up his hand for them to be quiet. He is listening intently. There is complete silence as they all strain to hear any sound from below. Suddenly, Anne begins to sway. With a low cry, she falls to the floor in a faint. Mrs. Franck goes to her quickly, sitting beside her on the floor, and taking her in her arms.
Get some water, please. Get some water.
Margot starts for the sink. No, no! No one's going to run water. If they found us, they found us. Get the water. Margot starts again for the sink. Mr. Franck, getting a flashlight. I'm going down. Margot rushes to him, clinging to him. Anne struggles to consciousness.
No, Father, no. There may be someone there, waiting. It may be a trap.
This is Saturday. There is no way for us to know what has happened until Miep or Mr. Crawler comes on Monday morning. We cannot live with this uncertainty.
Don't go, Father. Hush, darling, hush.
Mr. Franck slips quietly out, down the steps, and out through the door below.
Margot, stay close to me.
Margot goes to her mother. Shush! Shush! Mrs. Franck whispers to Margot to get the water. Margot goes for it.
Pooty, where's our money? Get our money. I hear you can buy the Green Police off. So much ahead. Go upstairs, quick. Get the money.
Keep still.
Do you want to be dragged off to a concentration camp? Are you going to stand there and wait for them to come up and get you?
All right, so the fear's kind of mounting. They're trying to figure out who might be downstairs making the noise. Mrs. Van Dan thinks it's the Green Police. Somebody else thinks it's a thief. Thief. And then they're all just kind of dealing with their fear. Mr. Franck's reaction to the fear is to say we can't live with this uncertainty and we kind of need to go see. So he's kind of taking charge of that situation. So let's see what I wrote. You could say brave in this situation. You could say, again, scared is kind of like fear. They're all scared. Courageous. You could just say like leader and then figure out a better word for later. And then although we don't have a ton of evidence for Mrs. Van Dan so far, she thinks it's important to have money so they can try and bribe the Green Police and potentially save their own lives.
Do something, I tell you.
Will you keep still? He goes over to the stairwell to listen. Peter goes to his mother, helping her up onto the sofa. There is a second of silence. Then Anne can stand it no longer.
Someone go after Father. Make Father come back.
I'll go. Haven't you done enough? He pushes Peter roughly away. In his anger against his father, Peter grabs a chair as if to hit him with it, then puts it down, burying his face in his hands. Mrs. Franck begins to pray softly.
Please, please, Mr. Van Dan, get Father.
Quiet, quiet! Anne is shocked into silence. Mrs. Franck pulls her closer, holding her protectively in her arms.
I lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
She stops as she hears someone coming. They all watch the door tensely. Mr. Franck comes quietly in. Anne rushes to him, holding him tight. It was a thief. That noise must have scared him away.
Thank God.
He took the cash box and the radio. He ran away in such a hurry that he didn't stop to shut the street door. It was swinging wide open. I think it would be good to have some light.
Are you sure it's all right?
The danger has passed. Margot goes to light the small lamp. Don't be so terrified, Anne. We're safe. Who says the danger has passed? Don't you realize we're in greater danger than ever? Mr. Dussel, will you be still? Mr. Franck takes Anne back to the table, making her sit down with him, trying to calm her. Pointing to Peter. Thanks to this clumsy fool, there's someone now who knows we're up here. Someone now knows we're up here, hiding.
Someone knows we're here, yes. But who is the someone? A thief! A thief! You think a thief is going to go to the Green Police and say, I was robbing a place the other night and I heard a noise up over my head. You think a thief is going to do that?
Yes, I think he will.
You're crazy!
She stumbles back to her seat at the table. Peter follows protectively, pushing Dussel aside. I think someday he'll be caught, and then he'll make a bargain with the Green Police. If they'll let him off, he'll tell them where some Jews are hiding. He goes off into the bedroom. There is a second of appalled silence. He's right.
Father, let's get out of here. We can't stay here now. Let's go.
Go where?
Yes, where?
Have we lost all faith, all courage? A moment ago, we thought that they'd come for us. We were sure it was the end. But it wasn't the end. We're alive, safe. We thank thee, O Lord our God, that in thy infinite mercy thou hast again seen fit to spare us. He blows out the candle, then turns to An. Come on, An, the song. Let's have the song. He starts to sing. An finally starts falteringly to sing, as Mr. Frank urges her on. Her voice is hardly audible at first.
Oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration. Around the feast we gather in complete jubilation. Happiest of seasons now is here. Many are the reasons for good cheer. Together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. So hear us rejoicing and merrily voicing the Hanukkah song that we sing. Hoy! Hear us rejoicing and merrily voicing the Hanukkah song that we sing.
The curtain falls.
All right, and that's the end of scene 5 and the end of Act 1.